Guess who's back? Your money with Evans Financial. And most people believe their estate plan is done once the documents are signed, but one of the biggest and most expensive mistakes has nothing to do with wills or trust. It's outdated beneficiary designations. Now, that was a lot of words. Colin Evans here with us from Evans Financial. Thankfully, he's here because you can better explain that for us.
You know, this it's really because beginning of the year, we're kind of throwing out some stuff just to remind, because this is one that we see all the time that can quickly become forgotten about. And first off is our banks and brokerage accounts. Many of these checking accounts, your brokerage accounts have something called TOD, transfer on death, or POD, payable on death. One of the things you have to look at is this might vary state to state. These things can pass outside of the will and the probate, but if you make any changes in your estate plan, these things do not update automatically. Number two, the real estate trap. This is the step up in basis. And the step up in basis is what people have this idea that, you know, I need to get my house out of my name and possibly pass it on or give it to my kids early before I pass away. Okay. And this could be the nail in the coffin, because they lose something called step up in basis. And what that is, if they gave the house to the kids or put it in the deed and say it was worth 100, well, when the parents maybe pass away and the house is worth 200, the kids lose the house getting passed to them at 200,000, and now they have a taxable interest due. So this can be a very, very damaging and expensive mistake. Business interests at number three. These are a big one because LLCs, your partnerships, your S corps, they don't follow standard beneficiary rules. They are regulated by ownership transfers, and these are governed by operating agreements, buy-sell agreements, stock restrictions. So if these aren't coordinated correctly, this could actually leave a mess for heirs, anybody that could possibly be inheriting. Life insurance is a biggie when it comes to the beneficiaries. Life happens, things change, people pass away, you know, kind of relationships end and maybe move on to a new family. But life insurance is simple, but it's easy to get overlooked. So double check the beneficiaries for that, because life insurance is a quick way, in the event something occurs, that passes outside the probate and passes cash on to heirs very, very quickly. So pay attention to the beneficiaries with your life insurance. The last one being retirement accounts, your IRAs, your 401ks. These have specific tax rules, spousal protections as required minimum distributions, as well as some charitable side of things. So the wrong beneficiary on here could actually throw some tax consequences in there that might not need to happen. So a couple of these things we just want you guys to be aware of to make sure it's the beginning of the year. This is a great time to pull out some of those files and double check some of these beneficiary designations and where they are, and make sure that they're up to date. And one last little tidbit, back on the life insurance thing, this is a funny thing, and this happens all the time, is when we see people, they come in, oh, it's like my son is the beneficiary. Okay, well, how old is Junior? Well, he's 12. Great. They're not going to write a $200,000 or whatever the number is, check to a 12-year-old.
Absolutely.
They're going to write it to who becomes the guardian of that. And where this throws a wrench, and I've seen this happen all the time, is if it's formerly a married couple and they don't get along too well, it's going to go to the other spouse because they're taking over as the guardian, and that sometimes doesn't sit well with the other spouse. So that's just a little tidbit to think about.
Yeah, all this stuff, some of it uncomfortable topics, but very important.
It is. It really is.
Absolutely. Well, good to have you back, Colin.
Thanks for having us again.
We'll check in with Patrick now.